Skin DNA GENE-IUS. What is Skin DNA GENE-IUS? Well, with a simple swab as easy as 1, 2, 3, we can gather information about your skin DNA and let you know what exactly are the weaker points to your skin and what are the stronger points to your skin. By knowing this information, you no longer have to waste money on lotions, potions, serums, or treatments that aren't good for your skin. Even supplements that are great for skin rebuilding or great for collagen and elastin rebuilding, if that's not your weaker aspects, that would not necessarily be good for you. So what we now know is medicine has come such a long way that by simply swabbing the cheek, we can get answer to your 5 main gene categories that can then give us a sort of a template to customize what lotions, what serums, what procedures, what supplements, and actually foods are best for you with your particular circumstances. Today we're going to be talking about sun damage, pigmentation, and UV radiation. Melanin, as we all know, protects us from the sun. Darker complected people, like Mediterranean descent or olive complected people, or often Hispanic or Latinos, they are more protected from the sun in terms of the red burn. But does that protect them from anything else? Does that protect them from aging? Does that protect them from cancers? No, it actually does not. So what we need to know in terms of the sun damage pigmentation category of genes, which are genes 13, Q, 11, and 21, which of those are strong, melanin, photo defense, or UV radiation damage turnover, meaning blocking that damage or not. First of all, let's talk about when melanin, photo defense, and UV radiation genes aren't your best friend, what can happen? What can the sun, ultraviolet rays really do? Well, they can prematurely cause skin aging in terms of textural changes, skin cancers, freckles, pigmentation, broken capillaries, which often look like a red nose, or little red spiders, broken capillaries amongst the cheeks. We can get a thinning of the skin and fine lines. So how are we to know whether or not our thin skin is caused from a lack of collagen, which is a different set of genes, or if it's from a lack of melanin and photo defense genes, which is the gene category we're speaking of now? Without the skin DNA test, we wouldn't know. We would only know that we have thin skin, and we would use all the lotions and potions and treatments that are known for thin skin. But if this thin skin is due to a collagen weakness or a collagen damaging problem, that's a different set of vitamins, supplements, treatments, and serums. If your thin skin is due to your melanin or photo defense genes, then again, you would need an alternative set of potions, lotions, treatments, and supplements. So the UV radiation damage that comes from the sun is from UVA and UVB. Those are 2 different radiation spectrums that come down from the sun. UVA goes very deep, all the way down into the dermis, and actually starts bouncing off the inner skin. It can actually damage our inner organs. So yes, you could get an actual cancer or other oxidative damage from the sun deep into our internal organs. The way you would prevent that is hopefully you've got strong photo defense genes. Photo defense genes, they're like a photo protection. Photo defense M1, photo defense M2. If those genes were your stronger type of genes, then they would, it's a natural body's response that break down the UVA and UVB rays once they enter to the skin. And instead of letting those UV radiation rays go into the organs and damage them, they actually break them down into little small bundles of heat that the body can actually absorb, and thus not exhibit all of that long-term potential damage. One of the things that is pretty significant about UV radiation damage is it's not something that necessarily happens today. Today you might only see red skin, or you may see nothing at all, depending on your outer melanin pigment. But what we're talking about is your photo defense M1, M2, that actually gather the UV rays once they've entered the skin. Specifically, we're talking about UVA right now, and bounce them off of the inner organs so that they don't cause excessive damage. If you've got a tremendous amount of that photoprotection M1 and M2 genes, that's terrific. If not, you would want to be ingesting supplements that fight UV radiation from within and help as an antioxidant and break down some of these free radicals that could go on to cause havoc to not only our skin but our inner organs, as we described. UVB, on the other hand, goes down into the epidermis of the skin. That is some of the top layers of the skin, and causes the fine wrinkling, textural changes, pigments, age spots, brown spots, and red broken capillaries that we see with long-term sun damage. Some of the other things that we see is, even if the damage occurred years and years ago, in the future we can start seeing little basal cell carcinomas, that's a type of skin cancer, squamous cell carcinomas, or melanoma. And of course, as we all know, melanoma can easily spread across the whole body, when even starting as a small mole that turns malignant and can actually be deadly. So UV radical damage causes DNA damage. The DNA damage causes irregular cellular function topically in the skin and internally by the organs. We get an increased mitochondrial damage. Mitochondria are the lifelong, that is our life breath of the cell. So when the mitochondria and the telomeres start becoming damaged, we begin to age. We can get an irregular melanin production also. The irregular melanin production can then cause something like a melanoma, or of course, as we said, there are other types of skin cancers, basal cell carcinoma and squamous cell carcinoma. So one of the photochemical, which photo means light and chemical means chemicals, one of the photochemical process in our body can convert this UV light that comes in as bad radiation into small little amounts of heat. And when the heat is broken down like that, then it is not dangerous. Well, we would all like a lot of that photochemical process called photodefense. Genetically, you may be set up in a good range for that, or genetically, that may not be one of your strongest suits, and we would need to offer you treatments, supplements, and topicals to help you break down that heat energy and fight those free radicals and oxidants, in the term of antioxidants. So the free radicals destroy not only the skin, but they destroy your internal organs and can sometimes lead to a cancer. That's why it's so important, not only to not get sunburned, but if you're of the nature or the hereditary tree, that you have a browner type of skin tone and that you don't get a harsh sunburn, that doesn't mean you're protected from the sun. So very, very important, we've talked about it before and you'll continue to hear me talk about it again, that you wear a topical sunscreen with one of two important ingredients, titanium dioxide or zinc oxide, titanium and zinc. Those are the only two true sunscreens which are truly sun blocks that prevent these UV rays, UVA and UVB, from entering into the skin and the internal organs and causing damage, as well as blocking the sunburn and the sun damage, the aging process on the exterior of the skin. Another one of my favorites is the fern supplement, Polypodium leucomotus. Big long word that simply means, it's just the name of the fern. And what the fern does is give us a subtle amount of SPF, sun protection factor, that can actually give us a small amount of protection within. So topically, zinc oxide or titanium dioxide in our sunscreen products, and then Polypodium leucomotus, which is a fern supplement that can protect us modestly internally. You do need both. You cannot swallow a fern supplement and be blocked from the damaging rays of the sun, but it is additional help. It's an antioxidant and is really nice to protect us from the sun. So when we do the DNA test, Very simple, simple as 1, 2, 3. It's a simple swab of the cheek and under the tongue. You take the cotton swab and put it in the envelope and you mail it back to us. Locally in New Orleans and Mandeville, Louisiana, we can do it for you here. If not, we can certainly mail it to you. And at any time during this presentation or after, you can order the skin DNA test at skinbodyhealth.com/skin DNA. The swab test then produces a report, and that report tells us all about the 15 genes that affect the different aspects of the skin aging, and skin prevention of aging process. We build on that custom and recommendations of things that you should eat, supplements you should take, topical serums and topical lotions that you should use, as well as what specific treatments would be good for your specific DNA skin type. We call the program Skin DNA, Skin Genius by Dr. Birkenstock. So if this category, sun pigmentation, UV radiation, and melatonin production, if this were one of your genetic weaknesses, what we would recommend in terms of supplements would be Annatto E. Annatto E is a tocotrienol vitamin E. It is made from the Brazilian plant. It is not a tocopherol, which is what you find in your vitamin stores and your pharmacies. It's E. annatto, made from the annatto plant from Brazil. It's the only one that is a tocotrienol type of vitamin E. There are a significant amount of studies and research, which will be on our website, that support the use of tocotrienol vitamin E as opposed to tocopherol vitamin E. Vitamin E, Annatto E, is not only wonderful for the skin, but the scientific theories also are pointing to that it is very good for cardiovascular, skin, antioxidant, inflammation, and cholesterol. So it's an all-around wonderful supplement. Vitamin D. Vitamin D drops, easily absorbable. You want to get your vitamin D levels very, very high, somewhere between the range of 65 and 100, depending on you and your healthcare practitioner, which you should always get together with before you make any recommendation and consult your physician. Glutathione. So glutathione fights these free radicals, and it's a wonderful supplement to take. It breaks down those heavy oxidation radicals, and very, very wonderful. Collagen. Collagen improves the thinning skin, and what we know, whether we have a collagen breakdown problem or whether we're having a melanin and photo defense problem, nonetheless the collagen in that skin is getting disrupted and it's thinning, and therefore we want to add back those protective mechanisms so that skin looks as good as it did at 30 as it does as 50. Liver milk. Liver milk is a combination product that's got milk thistle in it. Milk thistle is one of those supplement ingredients that we know is very helpful with free radicals and oxidation. So we want to calm down that damaging process and reverse. Vitality is a wonderful vitamin mineral supplement, and
Collagen.
And the Vitality it has your A's, your D's, your E's, some zinc, some other items that will absolutely boost the skin's process on revitalization and rebuilding of collagen and elastin. So in terms of foods, what categories of foods would really supplement someone that was having a problem with melanin, pigment, and UV radiation protection? We found that weakness. We would highly be recommending to you foods high in vitamin C, vitamin E, lycopene. So those food groups that we would recommend for vitamin E, for example, would be sunflower seeds, nuts, avocados, to name a few. The vitamin C category, which is wonderful if this is one of your weaker categories, would be things like oranges, red bell peppers, green bell peppers, broccoli, bananas, to name a few. Tomatoes, can't say enough about it, and red grapes. Why red grapes? Well, red grapes has resveratrol, and resveratrol protects from the UVB radical damage that affects the epidermis of the skin. So it's wonderful not only to eat red grapes, but in a moment we'll tell you about using red grapes on the top of the skin. In terms of topicals, turning over to that, what would we use if this was one of our genetically weak categories? Well, Majestic Grape. Majestic Grape is a topical serum, and in that Majestic Grape, it actually has resveratrol. So it's very wonderful to help replenish the resveratrol on the skin that blocks some of that UV radiation damage. You can actually go to your food store and get pomegranate juice. Pomegranate juice, and you can make a pomegranate juice facial. The antioxidants in the pomegranate, very, very helpful for sun damage, irritation, and UVA and UVB radiation. Vitamin C and ferulic protects against UV damage. It's an antioxidant. You would use it topically on the skin. So you want to eat your vitamin C, and you want to topically place the vitamin C on the epidermis or the top layer of the skin. Squalene and Vitamin E is a wonderful moisturizer for the skin if this were one of your genetic weaknesses, the melanin and the sun pigmentation. So Squalene and Vitamin E, it's a clear serum with a slightly yellow tint, and that's from the heart of the olive. It's an antioxidant, moisturizing the heart of the olive. Of course, it's got some extracts of a slight amount of olive oil in it as well. Last but not least, we would want to have retinols, because retinols and retin A, if this is your genetic weakness, are going to help rebuild that thinning skin, that lack of collagen. So we have a product, Ageless Duo A and B, and the combination of those, you use at night, you put a drop in your hand and put them on, will fight those oxidation damages and free radical, as well as UVA and UVB. For all skin categories, we know we want to repair the telomeres. The telomeres is what keep our DNA and mitochondria strong and long-lasting, anti-aging. And that would be our Voodoo Dna Cream. The Voodoo Dna Cream has DNA supportive structures to help those telomeres and fight the aging process. So at any time you can go to our website, skinbodyhealth.com/skin-DNA, and join our Skin Genius DNA Swab program. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. The program retails for $9.99, and for this next few months for our Rejuvenation Revival, we have it marked down to $4.97. For the next hour after this presentation, for the next hour, we will mark it down to $4.50 for that short period of time from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, or the next hour wherever your time standards are. Talking about treatments, if sun damage, pigmentation, and melanin is your category gene weakness, or one of them, then what treatments would be important to you would be radiofrequency, because radiofrequency repairs damage and inhibits pigment or removes pigment, and that would be some of your browns and reds that were deposited on your skin from skin damage. In addition to this, BBL and IPL, so broadband light and intense pulse light. Broadband light is superior. There's a study on that, Forever Young, by Dr. Patrick Bitter in 2011. And what we know is that Forever Young, that study done off of the BBL, absolutely shows that collagen, elastin, and pigment are improved, and the pigment, as well as rosacea and capillaries, can absolutely be eradicated with this form of broadband light therapy. It's a no downtime. It does take a series, but it does a wealth of good. The study, Forever Young at Stanford University, proved that collagen and elastin was absolutely rebuilt as time went on if someone kept up with this series of broadband light laser phototherapy. Collagen therapy. So there are some nice collagen lasers out there that are actually no heat, and they can help re-stimulate the collagen. And radiofrequency needling, so not microneedling alone, but radiofrequency microneedling lasers actually do microneedling with a 25-pronged gold-plated needles that sort of do a stamp method onto the skin. It's not very painful at all, actually, especially when you use numbing cream. And it sends the laser light, the radiofrequency, through those needle heads. So it's not just microneedling, and it's not just radiofrequency, it's actually a combination. And that combination not only rebuilds the tissue, but also removes the pigment. So I would recommend a series actually of broadband light plain radiofrequency and radiofrequency microneedling. To further improve your skin at home after a series of these type of treatments, I would recommend a dermal skin roller. That just means a roller that goes across the skin with tiny little micro needles. Doesn't hurt at all, and it actually keeps rebuilding all of the intensity. It continues all of the progress that you've made with your skin treatment program. It helps the products that you're using, your topical products, to go in deeper into the pores and become even more beneficial. So we'll go ahead and open the floor to any questions you may have.
Will it ever need to be retested for the skin DNA?
That's a fabulous question. No, your skin DNA doesn't change. So blood pressure changes, blood glucose changes, lots of things change. But skin DNA never changes. The way your skin is built is the way your skin is built. And once we know those 15 genes that you're made of, we can come in and develop a customized program for you. So we swab the DNA, we send it off out of the country, we get a 12-page report on your 15 genes all about you. I take that report, develop a customized treatment plan from your topicals for your face, from your supplements that you would ingest, the type of foods that are best for your skin type, and the treatment protocols that would specifically help your skin. Then I present that to you in an hour-long consultation via either Skype, Zoom, or person-to-person. And that's all included in the Skin DNA Skin Genius program. It's really as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Am I too old to take the Skin Genius genetic test?
Well, there's really no age to that, because wherever you start now, we're going to turn back the hands of time. We can absolutely make improvement in any skin type. We have people that start as young as 25 that want to know what their future track is going to be and what they can do to prevent the damage from coming. We treat people as old as 80. Matter of fact, I even think we had a couple older than that. Because you want to know where your genes are, why and where the damage occurred, so that we can then give you something to turn back the time on your specific problems. So it's never too late. It's never too late to reverse skin mistakes. And you don't have to be born with beautiful skin. When you take care of the skin you've got, all skin is beautiful.
Why shouldn't I just use as many products as possible to cover everything?
Well, that's an interesting question. If you've ever been to some of your department stores or even online, there are probably over 150 different products. I mean, how would you know? Ferulate, vitamin C, bioidentical growth serum factors, DNA regenerators, retinol, retin A. They're very, very different products. So instead of getting the plethora, when we've all had skin products, rose hips, and they cost so much money to test them all, why not find out exactly which ones are right for you, hone in on those, and use that as your repertoire?
Are the products that exist today able to tackle each of the 5 endpoints?
Yes. There are products, multitudes of products. So there are at least 3 to 5 in every category that can treat your skin. And you may not have one genetic weakness. You may have, in 3 of the 5 genes in one category, 2 of the 4 genes in another category. So you may wind up with 4 genetic weaknesses across broad categories, or you may just have one category that has weaknesses. But whatever, we take those and compile them and develop the perfect plan for your personalized skin genetic weaknesses.
What will you gain from taking the skin DNA test?
You gain a knowledge of whether you've got a collagen breakdown problem. In other words, are you breaking down collagen more than you're building collagen? Then we would specifically attack the collagen category, so that you didn't get creepiness and pillowing of the skin and draping of the skin. If, for example, it was a glycation problem, glycation, that's another category, means the breakdown of sugars. And if you're not processing sugars properly and or eating or drinking excess sugars via alcohol or sugary beverages, then we could gear your skin topically with some topical skin blockers to help block sugar absorption, and then some supplements to help block sugar absorption, and then guide you on some better eating and drinking patterns so that we could get ahead of the game. Again, the third category, or the category that we're researching today, is sun pigmentation, damage, and UV radiation. So if that were what was going on, we would, again, support your free radical support so that you could actually fight against those. We could help you with your melanin, certainly instruct you on the proper skin sunscreens, titanium and zinc again, to be using, as well as give you supportive foods, supplements, and treatments for that. You know, there's another category of sensitivity. Well, if you're overly sensitive to the chemicals, toxins, and environmental pollutants, we're going to specifically give you support in that category. So there are many ways that we need to address. And then there's one that's pure free radical damage. If you've got a free radical damage problem, then specifically supplements and specifically foods, we're going to highly recommend and give an extensive program there. So each of the 15 genetic genes do have some specific targets and goals that we will want to achieve to block them from breaking down your skin and or your body, for that matter. We want to give you the most support possible. So there are different reasons for wrinkles, and if you're not supporting your specific unique reason for getting wrinkles, they're going to continue to come.
How long is my DNA sample kept for?
The DNA sample, we take the swab, we process it for an hour, and once it's dry, we put it in the sealed container, and we send it over out of the United States. They process this for us in the DNA genetic laboratory, and they send it back directly here. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking with you today. We'll be back next week with the category of free radical damage. For today, please go to our website, skinbodyhealth.com/skindna. You can order the swab directly from there. It will be marked down from $497 to $450 for the next hour. We will continue to mark it down from $999 to $497 throughout the summer for our Rejuvenation Revival. If you have any problem on the website, please feel free to call us. Area code 561-568-0739 or 985-727-7676. I'm Dr. Birkenstock, skinbodyhealth.com. It's been a pleasure talking with you.